Welcome to a brand new episode of The Kickout. We do rare appearances now. We come like Sting circa NWO, WCW Invasion days, and where Sting will be at the rafters. That's what The Kickout has become. We've become the rafters, and we're coming out looking out with the spotlight shining on us, and we're pointing the bat at miscellaneous podcasters. But I've got great podcasters with me here today. I am reunited with my Kickout brother, Mekz, WrestleManiac UK. Shout outs to Mekz. Big up yourself, brother. How are you?
I'm very good, man. It's a good occasion to come back and talk about wrestling. Something very special's happened this past week. So yeah.
Absolutely. A Forbidden Door has been opened, and in a somewhat funny way, we're opening another Forbidden Door right here, because you are now a new member of our brethren, our brothers from across the pond and podcast world, Rest Things. You have joined them. Speak on that, because in my opinion, I've always associated you guys as you guys as affiliates, as brothers anyway. But you have now officially joined. You put the shirt on. Talk to me about that, man. How's that feeling for you? And big up Rest Things, man. Big up Rest Things all day.
Yeah, I mean, all it is again, it's just family ties with everything we're doing. I think with Rest Things, they were all over my content. I was all over their content. Behind the scenes, we're always kind of talking to each other about, oh, do this when you next drop something, do this, make this change, blah, blah, blah. Constructive criticism all over the gaff. We had a lot of similar ideas of content we wanted to put out anyway, which we were both going to feature in each other's content anyway. So yeah, it just made sense.
It makes sense. Yeah. It definitely makes sense. And that's a welcome. It's a welcome addition, I feel, and I feel like you guys is only get stronger. And you know, it's all family from Kickout. You know that, my brother.
Exactly. Yeah.
Shout outs to Skan, who's joined the Kickout. Actually, he's officially joined the Kickout. We haven't really made an announcement properly. Yeah, we haven't really made an announcement. We just kind of said it, kind of like, the last episode. Yeah, Skan, you're with us now, kind of thing. But you are now officially part of the Kickout family. So we want to make a proper introduction for you, Skan. For people who don't know, Skan, you're a musician, you're a rapper, you produce as well, right? If I'm right, you make beats as well.
Yeah, produce, man. Do a bit of journalism.
You had an interview with Fedro Star, hip hop legend, on one of your channels. Yeah. So check that out. Big that up. So and you're a lifelong wrestling fan, as people would have, if they listened to the last episode, would have realized. So and I know you're a massive NJPW, massive AEW mark, just like Mekz, just like myself. So we will get into what happened this week. Forbidden Door. This is officially the Forbidden Door review. This has been the talk of the town since AEW first did their first show. All Out, even before it became AEW officially, that was a collaboration with Ring of Honor, New Japan, and All Elite Wrestling. Before it became All Elite Wrestling, it was, at the time, it was just Elite, the Elite. And then All Elite Wrestling formed, and there was always conversations from the start of All Elite Wrestling, when are they going to do something with New Japan? Is that ever going to happen? People didn't know if Kenny and the Young Bucks and Adam Page and etc. left on good terms with NJPW, that was going to be a possibility down the line. Then we found out it was all good. We started seeing little references during COVID when Kenta showed up and so many different acts. I can't remember the top of my head, but there was a little bit of little. I know Minoru Suzuki showed up a few appearances, and there's little things that maybe they'll potentially do a pay-per-view. But then it was finally announced earlier this year, or was it last year? I can't remember. I think
it was this year, earlier
this year. Yeah, that Forbidden Door was going to happen. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys, it just felt like from the announcement to the pay-per-view, it was so quick. It just felt like, from a blink of an eye, here we are, the pay-per-view's here.
They announced it like shortly before Double or Nothing, which was May?
Right.
So maybe about April or so, or maybe in May, they announced they're going to do this. Then we had Double or Nothing, and then we had literally 4 weeks till Forbidden Door. So they just built the whole pay-per-view 4 weeks and then gave us what we got this past weekend.
Absolutely crazy. And obviously certain matches didn't take place that we wanted to see, but I think that's a good thing. I feel like sometimes when you kind of throw all your aces in one, and especially on the first pay-per-view that they've done together, you kind of want to see more. And it was such a really done well pay-per-view, in my opinion. And of course, I think you guys will share the same sentiment, that sometimes you want to wait for certain matches, like AKA maybe Okada versus CM Punk, or you know what I mean, or there's certain matches you need to wait for, and I felt like it's great that we didn't get everything all together. But let's talk about what we did get. Actually, Skan, let me ask you a question. I know you were looking forward to this pay-per-view. How excited were you for this before it started?
You know what it was, man? It's bittersweet in a way, because it's like, it's like the level of expectation was always gonna outweigh whatever they did, And then unfortunately, because of the injury bug, a lot of the top guys are missing. At the same time, it was kind of like, man, is the interest still going to be there? It kind of felt like, the first WCW invasion, man. All the top guns were missing,
Right.
But it's just like, but to be honest with you, man, the match quality was superb from beginning to end, man. It's very consistent, So
I would say with the invasion comparison, at least did this pay-per-view had some top tier guns. You get what I mean? I felt like the only top tier guns the invasion angle really had was Booker T, DDP. I think that's it. I think that's it. And I guess RVD, yeah. I guess they would have done. But even then, RVD was a very much of an underground name. He wasn't like the commercial success he became once he joined WWE. So I would say really
I was probably a bit harsh. But I mean,
I think it'd be a bit harsh. Because can you say Okada? You had Okada, you had Ace, Tanahashi. Those guys are kind of like comparable to, like, I would say if a Sting showed up or Goldberg showed up. Do you know what I mean? Back in those days, but I just feel like that invasion really flopped, boy. But anyway, let's talk about Forbidden Door, another invasion that happened. I think the first match, I mean, what was the buy-in, if I remember correctly?
So there was Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland faced is it Yoshihashi and what's his face?
El Desperado?
Yeah.
So I didn't actually catch this match. I did see some highlights that were shared on Twitter of this spot that Desperado did selling for Swerve, which was this I'm always all my life as a wrestling fan, I've always been like, who is truly the best athlete in professional sports? Yeah, is it Mexicans or is it the Japanese? Because I feel like if you talk about pure athleticism, it has to be the Mexicans. But the Japanese are like, they go in, but I think because in Japan culture, they work hard no matter what they do. So they're going to be outstanding athletes. But I think like a natural gifted athlete that will do things that you've never seen before, it has to be the Mexicans, man.
Yeah, it might just be.
Like Rey Mysterio being like a prime example of someone that shifted wrestling culture. Today you have Vikino. El Vikingo.
Yeah, Vikingo. Oh my God.
He's just doing outrageous things that I've never seen anyone do before in a squared circle and squared ring.
The minute that guy comes to America, mainland America, it is a problem.
Oh, I totally agree.
It's a big ass problem.
I think he should go AEW first though, before if he ever tries to make a WWE move, which I think he should do. But I think he should definitely,
them men are on him. The Bucks won't let him go. It's like he's probably got like a pre-contract of AEW right now. Yeah, the Bucks are trying to bring him there, and the guy's what? I think he's only like 24 or 25 years old.
Bruv, he's insane, bruv.
Yeah,
man. But Skillit, what a quick side note, man. What did you think about the beef with AAA not allowing no Mexican wrestlers to appear at Forbidden Door?
I know it's
got no one.
It's crazy. Like, I understand you don't want to give all your firepower to a different promotion, but it's not like AAA and AEW have never worked together before. They have, Yeah. So that's why I'm a bit confused about it. And it's like, maybe go on.
Sorry, go on.
No, you go.
I was saying, sorry, apparently the problem lies a bit more with CMLL. Like, they're the ones that are blocking. They've got some beef with AAA, and then that's why they can't come to some agreement. But like, for sure, like you're saying, it's the likes of Andrade. Andrade is one of these people that's like, he's ingrained somewhat in New Japan, from his earlier days. Yeah. Like, to block the likes of him, not give us like the gift of Rey Fenix on a pay-per-view like this. Like, them men are wrong for that. I'm sorry. 100%. Like, they need to pattern that the next time.
I don't understand what is happening there. I hope that gets resolved very soon. Maybe they want to just hold off and try and do their own Forbidden Door and not have New Japan be a part of it. And they probably want to, which probably could help CML, and AAA with a bit more mainstream appeal to Americans that might not watch them like they do watch New Japan. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just, I just hope that whole situation gets sorted, because it's a shame that talent like Ray Phoenix and all them things that went there. So, but we'll see. Okay, let's talk about the first match that kicked off. The Swerve Scott win that match. Swerve Scott and Keith Lee.
Yeah, Swerve Keith Lee won. The Arse Boys, the Gun Club, and Max Caster, they took on. Who did they take on again?
Yeah, they were in a 6-way match, right? Like a not 6-way.
Yeah, something like that, like a trio. Yeah, trios match, I think they call it. Yeah, they won. Lance Archer had a match as well.
Wow, I completely missed that Lance.
He had a dangerous botch where right at the start, and like spiked his head. It was crazy.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna be completely honest, because I've kind of like fallen off of New Japan recently. Apart from watching like main events or like stars, like I've fallen off in watching a complete show. I didn't recognize who Max Caster and the Gun Club was wrestling. I don't think I knew any of them, if I'm honest.
Oh, they faced New Japan Dojo, LA Dojo guys.
Okay.
So that's probably why you didn't recognize them. They're obviously a bunch of younger guys, doing their duties, the young boys and stuff like that.
I was thinking, have I stopped watching this completely, but I don't even know who these people are.
Them man aren't even on New Japan yet.
Okay.
You see them on New Japan Strong in America, but they ain't on New Japan just yet.
They're not young lions or nothing, no? They're not like, lion.
Yeah, a few of them are young lions, just graduated and that. So.
Okay.
Bro, they're ruthless, man. They don't even let them wear colors on their clothes. Like if they're dressing black.
Yeah, I know, right? It's
black trucks.
But you know what? That's a Japanese thing, though. They've been doing that for a while. Like certain stars has gotten away with it and made names for themselves. I guess like Shibata kind of wears like black trunks and no one.
Yeah, Shibata's their coach.
Yeah. So that kind of makes like shout outs to like Otani back in the 90s. He was the original Dunny Dunn who used to wear like no knee pads, just bare shin bones showing,
bare flesh out,
little ankle shoes, and kick a man up. Straight up, and he was a big star. But me and my brother used to laugh and be like, "This guy has got no sauce," but it's one of them things.
Swagger.
Yeah, but it's like some Japan they prefer that sometimes. Like, just give us a straight brawler. Let's kick off with the first match. It was Chris Jericho, Minoru Suzuki, and Sammy Guevara versus Eddie Kingston, Wheeler Yuta, and Shota Umino, who's the son of Red Shoes, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. That. And that's that long-standing beef with Jericho and Red Shoes, man. I don't know if you remember that.
I do, but he
from New Japan,
blowing him off in the matches and stuff like that. Okay. So his son is really good. His son is really, really good.
Yeah.
And so they carry that on, but he carries on the beef for Jericho to fight for his dad's honor, and Jericho is just so entertaining. Like, look what I did to your father and all that nonsense. But let me go to you first, Mekz. What did you think of this match?
Very good opener. It wouldn't be in the match I would have picked to open, but these guys done a really good job. The crowd are very much into Shooter, and obviously he's got ties to Moxley as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think everyone just backed him maybe off of that, but like you said, the guy's a really good worker. I think it was kind of obvious that Chris Jericho's team was going to win, and they got the advantage going into Blood and Guts last night on Dynamite. But yeah, overall, it was a really good start to the pay-per-view, and got you ready for the rest of the night.
Skan, what did you think of this match? Are you a big fan of Yuta? He's getting loads of love right now because
he's grown on me, man. I'll be honest with you. When he started off with the Best Friends, I was like, he was this random guy, but like, he's really like if you want to give an award for the most improved wrestler in a space of like 6 months. This guy is just kind of, for me, is kind of come out of nowhere. But I mean, in terms of the match, man, it was like, the one thing I worry about with AEW sometimes, they'll put on a star so good that it will kind of like overshadow like half the pay-per-view. So it was like, this was solid, man. Wicked way to kick off. Yeah.
The next up, we had obviously, I think we had the tag team titles, Ring of Honor and IWGP. Was it unified? Was this a unified tag team match? titles.
So it was like a winner takes all.
Winner takes all.
So yeah.
So yeah, Repugni Vice versus United Empire versus FTR. Great. So Great O'Khan and Jeff Cobb, right? I obviously I'm a massive fan of Jeff Cobb. I think I always liked him solo wise. I've never seen him tag team with Great O'Khan. So I didn't realize that they were the IWGP tag team champions. So them going into this, I felt like, I don't know. In my opinion, I feel like because FTR is like the hottest tag team at the moment. It just seems to me that IWGP titles, which should be seen as like, in my opinion, if you're in that independent wrestling realm and the New Japan realm, if you hold anything that's IWGP related, it needs to be seen as
number one.
100%, right? And I just felt like that was kind of given a backseat. Am I overthinking it? What do you guys?
You're 100% correct. The New Japan tag division for the past 2 years or so has been cack. It's been absolute nonsense. These men only won it at Dominion like 3 weeks ago, and look, now they've dropped it. Like, so it was always a move to put it on FTR.
And that's a shame, right? Because Mekz, that should not be the job of an IWGP champion. Transition. Not to say that it hasn't happened before, but really it's rare that they give somebody a belt there's to be a transition champion in New Japan. It's very rare.
But I think it's to fit into what they're trying to do with FTR. I would have personally, so this match for me, I felt it was a really good match, but we've seen takeover matches with FTR where they've went insane. These men never left like gear 2. This was too easy for them. Like, everyone was pretty good, but I don't feel like there was anything like super special or memorable about this match. Obviously, we saw the whole Dax leave and injured and come back fighting, big baby face move.
Was that a work or was that legit?
I think it was fixed.
I think it was a work. I think it was a work. Yeah, I think it was a work.
Okay.
But I don't know. But well, he wrestled last night on Dynamite, so it couldn't have been that bad, didn't it? But yeah, I just think these men are cold. But I thought United Empire should defend the titles here, and then FTR should go to Japan and beat them in Japan. And I feel like that would have given it a bit more meaning.
I agree.
I think they got the booking a bit wrong for this one, man. But I mean, I think the thing is, because everybody knew it was how predictable it was. I think that's why they threw in the whole dislocated shoulder.
I agree.
Izzy come back,
do a little different spin on it. Yeah, do a little different spin on it. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, so FTR picks up the belts. FTR right now, like, Mekz, come on, let's talk about NXT for a second. You mentioned NXT. Would you ever thought in your wildest dreams when you first saw the revival back in NXT in 2015, 2016, putting on classics upon classics, that down the line from them, maybe 5 years later, they would end up in AEW, and not only in AEW, becoming multiple AEW champs, Ring of Honor champs, New Japan champs? Did you think this will ever happen when you saw this tag team?
No, but not because they didn't have the ability. It's just because I thought these lot are so good. There's no way WWE could mess this up.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, so they're not gonna go anywhere. They're just gonna be, multiple time champions, eclipse like what the Dudleys achieved in WWE as 9 or 10 time champions and the New Day. Like, that's what it really should have been. But they dropped the ball. Now they've gone outside and kind of, proven themselves here, there, and everywhere. So it's good.
Skan, Mekz makes a great point with that, because if you have nothing for with creative, right? Sometimes it's like they don't know what, there's so much things happening with creative, so many ideas get tossed around and things get shut down. But you have a depleting tag division right there. It wasn't like Revival was in a company where the tag division was thriving, but they just wasn't using Revival. It's the fact that they just kept putting the titles and whoever, making tag team champions as they go along. You have a great tag team right there in front of you called the Revival that you could have just, like Mekz said, book very, very strong, have them make them the driving force for a tag division to exist, and then being, and then being the reasons why eventually they will end up losing. They lost to Zack Ryder and Heath Slater in a great match, by the way, but it was at a WrestleMania kickoff, not even on the pay-per-view, that got a great pop because that's how good Revival are, that they can make people care about Heath Slater and Zack Ryder winning. But that was basically the pinnacle of their tag division. That just shows how underutilized they were. And I'm happy that they decided to make their own movement, leave, go forth, and look at all the stuff they're achieving.
Yeah, man. It was inevitable, man. I don't know if you guys ever recall, like when Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan were tag team champions, like way back when he was in his Vegan Hill stage, and he was like, you know what? Like one of his promos, he was like, "Yeah, I want the tag team titles to main event WrestleMania one day," and it was like, so it's a pipe dream because Vince don't really care about tag teams like that, and that's something we'll never see. And unfortunately, if you want to be one of the best tag teams in the world, probably WWE ain't for you, man.
No.
And I'm glad that they left. And as you can see in the last couple of years, man, they're killing it.
That's the facts of the matter, because even now we're seeing what Sasha Banks and Naomi are going through just because of a tag team division, or a lack of a tag team division.
100%.
They don't care about it. It's the wrong place to be if you're a tag team.
Yeah. So next we had the AEW All Atlantic Championship. This was a tournament that went through different stages of Dynamite and Rampage, and now we got the final four. We got Malachi Black, Pac, Miro, and Clark Connors fighting for this title, this fatal four-way. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, because I stayed up to watch this live. I fell asleep during this match, and I'm ashamed to say it because I was really looking. This is probably one of the matches I was so excited to watch. I am going to come around to watch it again. I still haven't had the time to catch up on this match. I saw everything else. So everything else before, fell asleep during this match, and I woke up just in time before the next match. But talk to me about this, because I heard it was a great match, arguably probably the best match of the card, if I'm right. Is that
probably top three?
It had to be, man. And this might be a bit cynical of me, man, but that title was literally created to give Pac something to do.
No, you're not wrong. That's not cynical.
He was overdue a title, man. And I thought the booking at AEW was doing him wrong, bro. He should have been in the world title picture from day. But I'm glad he won. I'm glad he's got a championship now. Now it's to see whether or not they can make it mean something.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's just more or less a European title. So it's let's see what it does. But as far as the match, man, wow, incredible match.
Mekz, were you excited about this match? If you can remember off the top of your head, because obviously we all do different things and we're busy, but if you can't remember anything on the top of your head, what was your highlights of this match?
I think one of the big parts of this match was Clark Connors. So Clark Connors came in last minute to replace Ishii, who was injured, or was he ill or something? He didn't make the match anyway. And Clark Connors was just getting beaten upon by everybody throughout the match. And I guess people weren't really happy. He kind of came in last minute anyway. But eventually he was building himself up. The crowd are really buying into him. He got himself over. He put Miro through a table, which obviously putting Miro through a table is a bit of a mad thing. So yeah, Clark Connors, he done a really good job in the match. No one was invested in him being in. He got himself over, done some really good spots. But yeah, I think for the majority of us, we knew it was a matter of, like, Pac was a favorite for a lot of people. Yeah. Malachi Black, Miro, any one of them, anyone would have been happy with these guys winning the title. But ultimately, like Skan is saying, like, it's to give Pac something to do. Funny enough, Pac wasn't on Dynamite this week with his championship. So, and I know, like Stan said as well, like straight out the gate, AEW were positioning Pac very highly, because if you guys remember, just before AEW started, he was, I think, over in Japan in Dragon Gate, I think it was.
Yes, he was, yeah.
And this guy hadn't lost for 2 years.
Yeah.
He hadn't lost for 2 years. He lost one match and left Dragon Gate and came to AEW. So they were positioning him straight out the gate as a champion. And it just never really clicked. He's been living in his hometown in Newcastle while TV's happening in America. I don't know why he don't want to move to America. I just don't know. And now, like I say, he's won this championship and wasn't on TV the next week. So it's going to be interesting. They need to make this
very interesting with Pac. It's very interesting because... Oh, wait. I think my Zoom is running out of time.
2 minutes left.
I need to upgrade, I think. Do I need to upgrade?
It's either upgrade or when this one dies, you get a new link. I think it does.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So we've got about 9 minutes.
let's keep going. Yeah, and then I'll start another one quick straight away. It's very interesting with Pat because I felt like, not to say that he was used great in WWE. I'm not saying that he was, but they were doing stuff with him though. He had the cruiserweight title and they would position him as a strong heel. And then I think the stuff with the Enzo stuff he wasn't happy with, but I think even before the Enzo stuff, he just wasn't happy. I remember a couple days before he actually quit, I actually bumped into him in a hotel in New York, and we were in the same lift together. And we spoke, we chatted because he was nice, but he just looked like there was something missing. He just looked miserable, but he was being nice to me, but he looked like he just wasn't in the mood. And I remember, Mekz, if you remember correctly, that Brooklyn takeover of that summer, because of SummerSlam weekend, that Brooklyn takeover, they announced that Pac was in the crowd. And if you look at Pac, he's just staring into the camera like this.
Dead.
And he's like, there's no emotion. There's, Pac is here, and everyone's cheering around him. And he's just staring like he doesn't want to be there completely. And then the next few days after Raw or whatever, I think he must have lost the belt to Enzo, whatever. He just quit.
Well, that's the thing with him. He's another one of the notorious few that have walked out during the show. Like, you say, he must have dropped the belt and literally just left and done and refused to come back as we know it. Like, they wanted him to come back and stuff like that. He said, I'm not coming back. Just release me or I'm going to sit at home.
Yeah. And the thing is that he knows his value, man. He knows he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. Like, he just needs to be treated that way. He just obviously maybe he needs to develop a bit more character, more charisma on the mic. But like in terms of his ability, man, he could do like 5-star matches all day.
100%.
I think he needs to move to America. That seems to be the first.
I think so. If he's looking to become a heavyweight champion, he needs to make that move. 100%. Next up, we had Bullet Club. When I say Bullet Club as well, they had the classic Bullet Club theme. So it was the Young Bucks and El Phantasmo versus Darby Allin, Shingo, and Sting. I feel like someone else was there though. Who else was there?
Hikuleo was ringside for Bullet Club. He was supposed to be in the match, but
that's right.
Hiromu Takahashi was ill, so he didn't make the pay-per-view.
Okay.
Let him fly.
So it's supposed to be a 8-way, like a 4.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. This was great, man. I mean, I don't know about you guys. Sting jumping on the Bucks and Phantasmo at the start.
He loves it.
It was great. I kind of want to see Sting kind of rein this in a bit now because he's 63, and I'm worried that he's going to kill himself. I don't know what do you guys think?
It's a fun spot. He's been doing that. Like, people are catching him. He's going through tables, double tables on top of each other. And it's few and far between. It's not like every week in it. So it's all right.
True. He's an icon, man. Where there's very few icons left in wrestling. So and people, I guess, appreciate them more now. So it's just that's the thing about Sting, man. It's like you said, as long as they use him sparingly, he will always get a pop. Like
One thing I would say though, big up to AEW, man, because from the start of his inception, it has booked Sting like the legend that he is, and how he should have been booked when he went WWE. And the fact, I'm gonna say this, you guys might disagree with me. The fact that the biggest pop throughout this whole pay-per-view was Sting flexing off a double super kick. I don't know if you guys agree if that's the biggest pop, but for me, I felt like that was the biggest pop of the night. It's when they gave him the double super kick and he's about to fall and he goes, the King Kong chest, and then double clothesline them. I swear to God, the whole stadium stood up for that. Am I gassing this? Because this was like 2 a.m. in the morning, and it just felt like it was the biggest pop.
It was definitely one of the biggest pops, 100%. He's done stuff like that. I can't remember who it was, but someone put him through a table some months ago, and he just literally got up as if nothing happened. Ever since, I think, early AEW, like pandemic times, if you guys remember, he took a power bomb from Brian Cage in the middle of the ring, and he didn't move, and like people must have thought Sting was dead. And since then, anytime he takes like a high-powered move or something like that, I think his MO is now to not to sell it, so he maybe doesn't even scare the crowd.
Right.
Like, he's just literally just bouncing back. We saw the super kicks. He just ate it and then went back after the box. It's good fun, innit? It is what it is.
This was a great match. I loved it. Sting, Darby, and Shingo all won their match. All won the match. And it was just good to see all three of them in the ring together, really. It was really nice. Yeah. So good stuff there.
Shingo should have got a singles match. He's too good.
I agree.
I agree.
You can't waste Shingo on a tag match, and I agree with that, because that man should be just doing some next main event type of match with Moxley or something and just wowing the crowd. But hopefully, as more Forbidden Doors open, hopefully he will go through as a main eventer going forward in these type of pay-per-views. Thunder Rosa versus Toni Storm. Now, this next match, it was cool. It wasn't a bad match. I just wasn't. I don't know.
You're not invested in the division. Let's all say it as it is. No sugarcoating. We're not invested in the division as a whole. Like, what they should have done here.
I'm invested in Jade. I think Jade is. Jade is somebody that I'm looking forward to see week in, week out.
But even with Jade,
go on.
She's what now? 34-0.
Yeah.
And there's no clear sight right now of when this is ending. Like right now, in my opinion, she should start being in peril. Like maybe keep winning, but now she's using her little sidekicks to kind of help her win matches. The dominance is fading. She's getting a bit tired. You see what I mean? Like,
I like that.
There's no sight. She's killing everybody. Like she's killed the whole division. They're bringing people from outside now to come in for her to kill. Like it's all good, but like
she should like Ric Flair it. You mean?
Yeah, there needs to be a change. Like. Yeah.
But the problem is, it's because she looks so dominating and she's her stature is so bigger than 99% of all the women in that division. She's going to get, I feel like they don't want to make her look vulnerable yet. I think if they start recruiting more wrestlers that look like her, that's probably when they're going to start doing the whole, I need to cheat to win kind of thing. Did she cheat to win to beat, when Ember Moon debuted?
Yeah.
Who did she beat?
Anna Jay.
Did she cheat to win to beat Anna Jay? No, she didn't. Did she?
No, I think Anna Jay just got distracted.
Oh yeah,
by
that's it.
People entering. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
By the baddies.
Okay.
Yeah. So one last thing I'll add before we move on from the women is that I think Toni Storm should have won, and it would have left Thunder Rosa with a really short reign, but. I'm just like Thunder Rosa retaining doesn't make me feel like, okay, what's next? What's she gonna move on to? Like we're saying, the division is just a bit like it's mad that Jade and the TBS picture kind of means more than a women's world title right now. And Toni Storm coming in and losing. She lost to Britt Baker, I think it was, in the Owen Hart tournament. She's now lost a championship match. Where does that put Toni Storm, who's supposed to be one of the best women on your roster?
Is Toni Storm a heel?
No.
It's the face.
They'll probably turn her heel.
And is that gonna help?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I feel like the reason why they don't want to take the title off Thunder Rosa yet. Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't they kind of highlight like she's like the first Mexican women's American
champion. And she wants to do big things for the women's division.
I think like because of that they kind of want to like give her a short reign,
but they have to then do something to book it in it. Like no point just leaving her with a championship. That's not going to improve nothing.
Yeah, it feels very Hangman Pagey reign at the moment.
Sure,
you know.
Yeah.
Next up, we had Willow Spray versus Orange Cassidy. Now, going into this match, I felt like I like Orange Cassidy. I like him. I think he's a good talent. I think he's a great act. He's fun. There was times before where I was a bit bored of the act, but I feel like I'm enjoying it all over again. But I wouldn't have chosen him to be Willow Spray's opponent at Forbidden Door. I felt like Willow Spray probably should have got a bigger act for that. But that being said, this match was thoroughly enjoyable. I really loved this match. It was very fun. Skan, I'm going to come to you first. Actually, I'll come to you first. What did you think of this match between Willow Spray and Orange Cassidy? And did it exceed expectations? Or did you was like, it was fun. I knew it would be like this?
It's one of those things, man. Will Ospreay can make anybody look good. He's that kind of guy, really,
He's
isn't
one of the best wrestlers in the world. One of the best.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, man, for his first like real singles match in AEW, they should have pulled out all the stops, man. They should have got somebody who you genuinely would think would beat him. You know, Orange Cassidy is an incredible athlete, but he's not got the star power, man. You know, he's popular, but like it should have been. I would have bought somebody like, you know, Miro, maybe, you know, someone like on a higher level, or even like Aleister Black versus Will Ospreay would have been incredible, you know. But
would you say this was kind of done because they have high hopes for Orange Cassidy? They do want to build Orange Cassidy as a mainstay in AEW, so they think putting him with Will Ospreay, it's kind of highlighting how much we have faith in Orange Cassidy.
But you got to remember, man, they gave him the headline match with Chris Jericho at a pay-per-view one time, and it's like, you know, I think that kind of showed like his ceiling, man. He's big, but there's like big. He's not. I don't know if he's superstar level, man, because of the size thing. He's just not. You know, he is more than a gimmick. You know, because at first we just thought he was just a gimmick, but he shows that he's got the in-ring capabilities and he can work. But it's like, can he get to that next level? That's the question.
Next, do you think with that gimmick he can get to that next level?
In AEW, anything's possible in it because they're trying to break down these barriers and all that kind of stuff in it, I guess. I don't think he's designed to get to the next level. Orange Cassidy, for me, and probably in the eyes of these guys, you know, these people, that are just over, so they don't need to win. Right. Like they can put on a good, serviceable match. Put them with the top guys, put them with the mid card, and they just do not need to win the match. And that is where Orange Cassidy finds himself now. Again, like you were saying, this is anyone that ever says that Orange Cassidy versus Will Ospreay was their dream match. They're goddamn liars. This is nobody's dream match. Like, but these lot put on a really good match. I feel like this was a very fun match. The clash of styles, obviously the high impact mix of Will Ospreay mixed with the sloth nature of Orange Cassidy. It was just fun. And Will Ospreay actually said on the Wrestling's podcast that if he's ever to have a fight at Forbidden Door, he wants it to be against an AEW original, so to speak. He doesn't actually want to face any of these big guys, big name guys.
Because a lot of the guys he probably would have wrestled already in DDT or GCW or all these different things that he was at before Red Pro. He probably would have wrestled a lot of AEW guys already in different companies. So I like the fact that he wanted to wrestle an AEW original.
The only thing, a rumor came out, and I don't know if it was true or not, that the original plan, had they been allowed, was that Will Ospreay was meant to take on Andrade. Yeah. And you can only imagine how mad that would have been. Like,
that would have been crazy. That would have been an epic match.
Yeah.
Now I'm vexed.
Yeah. Because I think, to be honest with you, man, I think someone like Will Ospreay, I think he would have benefited wrestling somebody that would have, taken him to the next level. He needed a world champion caliber opponent.
I think, well, it just really goes back to us saying, they don't want to blow, everything they have on this first one. That we're gonna get there. And to be honest, right now, the match I feel the world probably wants, following a bit of back and forth and stuff from each other, is Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay. As Will Ospreay was the handpicked guy by Omega to carry the New Japan Flame when Omega left for AEW. Omega's obviously recently come out and said that Ospreay has the most forgettable 5-star matches, which is just a massive disrespect. As if it isn't hard enough to get a 5-star match, now you're just discounting them. There's something between these two brewing. Hopefully we can see it culminate in a ring.
Well, there's rumors that the next Forbidden Door might actually take place in Japan. So, we'll see.
That'll be good. Next up, we had the match everybody was waiting for. Rumors are circulating Who could it be? Daniel Bryan was out over injury. Zack Sabre Jr. laid down the challenge. I want Bryan Danielson at Forbidden Door. People were salivating at this to see these two technical wizards go at it again. They have faced after each other before many, many years ago. So people would love to see this match happen again. But Bryan, because of injury, couldn't make it. But he said he did have a suitable replacement. And all the rumors were spreading. And I think a lot of people did guess who it was. I'm going to come to you guys first. Did you guys have an inkling it'll be Cesaro or Claudio Castagnoli?
Yeah.
Of course.
It had to be.
Skan?
Yeah.
When Bryan said, "Oh, it will be one of the greatest technical matches of all time," I said, "Yeah, that's Claudio. He's giving it away."
Yeah. And it was like if anybody was gonna bring him, it would have been Daniel Bryanson or Bryan Danielson. Sorry. So yeah, it had to be, man. It was kind of like that. The Cody Rhodes thing, man. It was like it's obvious, but you're not sure.
Yeah. It's not 100% yet.
So AEW bags Claudio Castagnoli, a great coup for AEW. This guy, everybody knows him. Great wrestler. Way before he joined WWE, he was doing bits in Ring of Honor, doing bits in the independents, build name for himself. Finally got signed to WWE, became a megastar with the US Championship, tag team champion, just doing great stuff throughout in ring. Just one of the guys that people said should always be a world champion. Didn't get it because maybe his mic skills were never the best. But even up to recently, it looked like WWE was going to turn the corner and be like, all right, actually, let's do something with Cesaro. Had that match with Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 37 when he beats him. And they were like, oh, okay, this like, they're going to take Cesaro seriously again. And it didn't happen. But I feel like the first thing AEW got to do, we'll talk about the match, obviously, when he showed up and had a match with Zack Sabre Jr. But the first thing they need to do with this guy is give him the belt.
What belt?
I think he needs to get the AEW championship, right?
Wait, take it easy.
But you know what? One thing I will say, and I know, and I noticed this at Blood and Guts, man. Like, you notice his physical presence more. It's like you can tell AEW wrestlers are a little bit smaller than WWE.
That's what I'm saying. As soon as he showed up,
like a world champion, like immediately.
A bona fide main eventer, right?
Yeah.
Listen, we all love Cesaro. Ability in spades. He has the look, puts on great matches, fan favorite, all of that. But you cannot be the world champion without being comfortable on the mic. Like, I would argue he that's what's missing. I remember following, like you said, he had that great run with Seth, culminated at WrestleMania. They put him, I think, a month or two later into a program with Roman.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think he was ever going to beat Roman Reigns for that title, but it's a thing of you're now with the top guy, really show that you can hang if this is your opportunity. You see what I mean? And man was stuttering all over the place. Now, he's a smart guy. He speaks several languages. English ain't his first language, but you've been here now for X amount of years. You know that this is what the company wants. You see what I mean? So even within yourself, we hear like people go and take acting lessons and all of them kind of things. Like Cesaro can't or hasn't so far like delivered in that way. Name me one good Cesaro promo. Exactly.
That's a good question. I mean, I've heard some interviews where he's talking about coffee where he's really passionate, but in terms of wrestling,
he's a great guy.
Man.
That's hard.
Like
it's hard. He's a great guy. You know what it is? Yeah, Mekz, I completely agree with you. But I feel like with AEW, it won't be scripted lines. Like WWE is always getting into script lines.
Agree. That's the point.
I feel like with AEW, the gloves could be a bit more off. You could be a bit more realer. You'll probably let him speak from the heart more. You probably have more to say because he's an AEW. Yes, it still won't be a fantastic promo. That's never going to change, right? He doesn't have that ability to be a fantastic promo. But I think what he does have the ability is to be a bit more relatable for fans because he'll be able to just speak from the heart, say what he feels, and they won't script him as aggressively as WWE did. So I think a world championship can be in the works for him, can be in the cards. Yes, you're right. It's too soon to say put it on him now.
The world championship he should win? The Ring of Honor World Championship.
I agree.
when they finally decide what they're doing with that, they got a streaming service where that's gonna go.
It's still Jay Lethal.
It's Jonathan Gresham, right?
Oh, Jonathan Gresham's still going. Okay.
Yeah. Gresham versus Claudio will be a fantastic match.
Yeah.
A lot of AEW talents, obviously AEW have acquired Ring of Honor. They're gonna migrate over to Ring of Honor. Like for Claudio to at least become world champion over there first, almost like a stepping stone sort of thing. And I know he's very experienced, but let him go conquer over there. Let him go rule the roost over there. And then eventually put over maybe a younger talent, someone like Daniel Garcia beats him for the world title of Ring of Honor. And then he can come back and settle more into, AEW, win a TNT championship. Then we can assess if he's really AEW world champion worthy. But right now,
we need to give you the book, man. I'm liking what you just said there. I like that.
Bro,
Yeah,
Claudio.
Yeah, but you gotta remember, man, we live in a universe where Jinder Mahal is a former world heavyweight champion, bro. So
that was a money though. Like they wanted to pop ratings and get money in that side of the world.
So are we? Is Claudio officially part of the Blackpool Comeback Club?
Yeah, he signed to AEW and he's part of the club. Yeah.
Okay, wicked. Okay, that's good. Yeah, it was a good match between him and Zack Sabre Jr. I felt like they could have booked Zack a bit stronger, but I knew it was Cesaro's moment, so it doesn't really matter. It was all about Claudio, so it is. Hopefully,
Zack Sabre Jr. though deserves his accolades. This guy is an incredible wrestler. One, and even with the promo, like. He was cussing afterwards. I don't know if it got broadcasted, but he was cussing, saying that, I thought I was supposed to have a technical wrestling match. That wasn't a technical wrestling match. This guy's a Swiss bastard. I'm never coming back to America.
He's amazing, man. Amazing. All right, let's talk about the fatal four-way for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. It was Jay White versus Hangman Page versus Okada versus Adam Cole, Okada had a massive pop, which is great to see because he's that international star. He's that guy. He deserves the pop. He's probably arguably the best wrestler in the planet today, and he deserves. That's that Ric Flair stuff, when Ric Flair was going from country to country and state to state, getting all those crazy pops going worldwide. That's why I want to see Okada. I love Okada's drip as well. I love his jacket. It's not his jacket, a long robe jacket. It was insane. That's one of the best robes he's ever had, and he always wears some fantastic robes. But that one, I was like, yo.
And you see what was on the robe?
Was it like every person he's defeated?
No, it's names of like people within like Japanese wrestling history. Because I think this year or next year they're celebrating 50 years of New Japan.
Right.
It's like to all the icons and stuff like that. It was embellishing his name. It's the same robe he wore at Wrestle Kingdom this year.
Okay.
Oh, wicked.
What do you guys think of this? I thought this was cool. It was nice. I was a bit confused towards the end of the match of what actually happened. If you guys could give me some highlights of what you think went wrong.
They were saying that in terms of the finish, Adam Cole was concussed, and Jay White did what he did and just called an audible and just literally pinned down Adam Cole so he couldn't kick out because he recognized he wasn't obviously all there. A bit of a dead finish. But to be honest, the whole match, the whole build, it wasn't what anyone wanted because they had said, Hangman wanted Okada. Okada then dropped the belt to Jay White at Dominion. Then Jay White came into AEW twice and said, I'm not facing you, Hangman. I'm not facing Adam Cole. I'm facing someone else. And then he ended up facing all of them.
Yeah.
Okada showed up like the week before Forbidden Door. So it's just like they kind of, horseshoed him into this plans. So, yeah, they're going to do better with this belt. I feel now that Jay White's got it and the IWGP heavyweight title in general. But this angle was just like, what stars are left off the card? Let's just stick them in here together sort of thing.
For sure.
I think if WWE would have pulled off that level of creative, man, we'd have been cussing like that. That was a nonsense the way that match came together. And like the way unfortunately, man, the way these fatal four ways structured, man. It's getting very formulaic. You can kind of tell like these two are gonna double down, these two are gonna wrestle for a bit, then these two are gonna have a go, then these two are gonna have a go, you know. You know, you kind of want to see something fresh, but it's like it was serviceable, man. It was solid, but I think the IWGP heavyweight title deserved something bigger than that, man.
I agree. You know? And Jay White's my guy. If anybody knows me, I've been a Jay White mark for a long time, and I just feel like AEW fans who probably don't watch the New Japan much still don't get. I think they rate him, but they don't know how great that man is. Like, he's phenomenal. So it's a shame that couldn't be shown, and I also feel like Okada could have done with a solo match as well. Like, I just off my head though, with everybody that's injured, that's not in, like with everybody that's on the card and all the injuries that has taken place. Who would you put Okada with? It's like Punk is out. You know, it would have been Punk Okada. That would have been great. But Punk is out. So who would you have put Okada with? Moxley's got Ace, so you can't really do that. He's got Tanahashi. So
I was saying in the lead up to Forbidden Door, I was somewhat at peace because I think rumors that Okada was his missus was expecting, isn't it? That's why I think he wasn't sure if he was going to even make it. But I was almost at peace because we know Kenny Omega wasn't going to be there. That, you know, arguably his greatest rival in Okada isn't going to be there either. Like, so I already know you guys are slapping together this pay-per-view last minute, clearly. Like, just give us what you want. Save these man for later.
Yeah, for later,
But then Okada then turns up. I'm just thinking, literally, I was in a state of shock. Like, firstly, he's here. And then two, how is Kenny Omega missing? Because these are like certain man, the Bucks. These men are completely responsible for this even being a thing. Like, so it's a bit mad to me that Omega still didn't even show up. But like Okada, again, no one pays Okada to turn up in a fatal 4-way. You want singles match greatness out of Okada.
And also not to be winning. Like if you're showing up in a match, like you can't be in a losing effort. No way.
So you know, Kota Ibushi, he's left NJPW, hasn't he?
Basically, yeah.
So you think he's coming to AEW?
Well, that's the thing with this partnership they have. Can he really? Would New Japan be happy for AEW to sign him?
Nah, the disrespect.
I would think Kenny coming back with Golden Lovers.
It would be great, but at the same time, I think the likes of Kota Ibushi has trust issues. Like, you know how long he took to sign with New Japan. This guy didn't want to sign to anybody. He was just going around enjoying life. Like, he took forever.
Oh, you know what? We forgot something major.
Shibata. I was gonna say
Shibata. How did we forget Shibata, bro? We'll have to circle back to that. We'll circle back to that. Let's finish off this main event match and then we'll get back to Shibata. I don't know how we forgot about Shibata. Okay. That's very interesting, Mekz, that we just said. Because Ibushi does that all the time. He's just very like a footballer. You know, he just wants, you know, he's his own agent. He's like, no, I'm not signing unless you pay me this or whatever.
Yeah, he might be done with it.
It's not even about money. He just
I think he might be done with wrestling, to be fair, like now, like, or just find somewhere smaller in Japan to go to and just enjoy.
Okay. Yeah. But the reason why I mentioned the Okada thing about who would you put him with, like, it does highlight that AEW still needs to kind of beef up the division a bit, like in terms of like main eventers. Because I'm struggling, like, who else would you put Okada with?
I don't think they need to.
Jericho, yes. Punk, Jericho, Moxley, maybe Samoa Joe. Could have put Samoa Joe and Okada together.
Yeah, I think Joe's injured though. Yeah,
I know. No, I mean, I'm just saying.
Joe's knackered. Even if he wasn't injured, Joe is knackered.
Okay, fair enough.
You know what? Like you're saying, like those guys are there. But look, Danielson injured, Omega injured, Punk injured. Moxley obviously was available. He had Tanahashi. Who else would you class as a main eventer there? Like Hangman was there, but I guess I don't know. Like I said, they probably wanted to shoehorn in these other guys. Yeah. Adam Cole, you could argue, is a main eventer, but he was around there. So, and Adam Cole was coming into the match injured as well. So the guys are there. They unfortunately, like, people are just dropping like flies right now in AEW. Like,
one interesting question that comes up a lot about wrestling, and we see it with all these injuries. Like, wrestling is like the only sport that never has an off season. I think that's something that should ever happen.
I think it should. I think WWE should definitely do
WWE, yeah.
WWE should have done off seasons a long time ago. Like, Or like if it's not off seasons, definitely put a thing in place where you really rotate your wrestlers, man. Make wrestlers 6 months, maybe have 4 or 5 months off, come back again. Like it'll just make storylines fresh again. It will just make people look forward to people returning. It's great ways of introducing people to come back again. I just feel like there's no reason why we should see the same wrestlers week in, week out. And sometimes we see the same matches week in, week out. Nothing is fresh. Especially when they got a stacked roster like that. I know they've got rid of loads of people recently, but there was a time when WWE had loads of people when AEW wasn't. And there's
16 times.
You know what I mean? So,
guys. But then on the flip side of that, you've got people with their AEW contracts that they can wrestle anywhere else as long as it's not televised. So now you're choosing to work hard. You're at AEW on Wednesdays, and then you're doing stuff on the weekends and stuff, GCW and all these other kind of places. Mekz is someone that he doesn't need money. This guy is good for it, yeah. But he's out here wrestling in smaller promotions on the weekends, maybe just for the love of it. Like so. And then you need to kind of manage your body at the same time. You're now in control of your destiny as to where you can go, and you're still choosing to go and wrestle when you don't need the money or whatever. But yeah.
Let's talk about Shibata. So after the Orange Cassidy match with Willow Spray, the United Empire came in and was attacking Orange Cassidy. Did Best Friends come to help him or?
Yeah, no. Man. I was so vexed. When United Empire came in, I said, okay, who's coming to make the save? And I saw Best Friends come in, and I was kicking off. I said, this is the most underwhelming save ever. Obviously, not knowing my man was going to turn up, be the real star.
And then the theme song hits, bang, you hear the crowd roar. Not everyone in the crowd, but a big portion of the crowd who knew who he was roared, and Shibata shows up. Mark out moment. It's great to see Shibata. Obviously, I'm always in two minds with the Shibata return because I remember vividly the injury. I remember exactly what happened to him when he got, knocked out conscious and his career was done. And I just thought to myself, okay, that's him. He's done. And obviously, Daniel Bryan came back that same kind of injury. So obviously, he, when he was coming to come back, but the fact that he still wants to do these headbutts. I know he's kind of dumbed down the headbutts completely, but he hasn't completely dumbed it down, but it's not as vicious as it was. I'm still a bit like, every time I see him, I'm like, you're doing the right thing. But he looks great. He's put loads of muscle back on. He's looking good. And he came out swinging, chasing off the United Empire, kicks, fly kicks, whatever. And it was good to, it's good to see him. And it was good to see him interacting with Orange Juice Cassidy with the shades and the thumbs up. Even though I don't think that was planned. I just feel because he kept saying, hey, come in the ring. And Orange Juice Cassidy like, what? And then just improvised the spot. And then he had to go. Because I think, he knew he had to wrap up. But it was good to see that. And hopefully Shibata will be the next Forbidden Door.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I'm happy for these kind of spots. Like at Wrestle Kingdom, he had like a 5-minute match with Zack Sabre Jr. Just little things here or there. Like this man is lucky to even be here right now. Like, and he's obviously doing a good job in the LA Dojo training, I guess, the next generation. So little things to just acknowledge, what he did for the game is good for me. Like, I don't need to see him wrestle anymore.
Let's talk about the John Cena of New Japan Pro Wrestling, the ace, Hiroshi Tanahashi against John Moxley. I was surprised to realize that these have never faced up with each other before. I thought they would have had a match for the US title. Am I wrong about that?
So they had a match for the US title like a month ago. It was a fatal 4-way though. It wasn't a one-on-one.
I don't know why I thought they had a match when Moxley was the US champ. When he was before AEW. Okay, maybe it
was Kenta. But that's the whole story. Moxley has been chasing Tanahashi basically since he's been over in New Japan and stuff like that. And through one thing or the other, they've just never faced up until now.
So on my highlights I have to mention was it was a great touch to have the New Japan ring announcer announce alongside. Was it Tom Phillips that was doing the announcing? No.
What's his name? Jason Roberts.
Justin Roberts. I mean, not Tom Phillips. Or something. Justin Roberts. Yeah. So that was.
It was almost like he was in an international airport, man. It was just it was a bit wild.
Then Matt, he went, oh, Kazuchika Okada, and then the translator guy, the guy next to him, was like, Okada Kazuchika.
This is one of those matches that are just like simple, classic one-on-one that turns into a brawl kind of matches. Have a little bit of mat grappling, but obviously gets all competitive and suits different styles of each wrestler. Great match between the two, actually. I can't really knock it. It was a good showing. Moxley juiced himself differently. He looked like a mess, but it was amazing to see at the same time. Some good table spots. Could have been a bit better, but it looked good still, regardless. Yeah, I guess it was a good back and forth, really. And Moxley did the final. What's the finishing move called again? The paradigm shift.
Paradigm shift. Yeah.
Yeah. And gets the 1, 2, 3. It was only right. It was for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, so it's only right that for now an AEW champion remains an AEW wrestler. For now, I feel like with future Forbidden Doors, they should definitely really open up the Forbidden Door here and have cross-promotional title changes. That should be
Imagine if Tanahashi walked out of there as AEW World Champion.
I feel like on one of your reviews, did you not say that's what they should do while Punk is out?
I've done predictions.
Prediction, that's it. Yeah,
like it might just be only for a month or two, but just imagine the chaos. The people's heads would have been scattered on Sunday night if this guy is like, I say, blow the kiss and jump the barrier, basically, sort of thing, and like went back to Japan, and it's like now everyone needs to tune in over there to see what's happening. Like, he could have lost it to Moxley a month later, and then Moxley Punk to unify it. But just that initial shock of Tanahashi winning it, and it's not unconceivable because he is who he is. He's Tanahashi. Like, I just feel Mox is brilliant, but that's just a little thing they could have done.
I feel if they were ever thinking of doing an NJPW Forbidden Door version a few months after AEW pay-per-view, that's probably when they should do it. So it's like, oh my God, you've got the belt, but then you can go to the New Japan pay-per-view that's going to be in a few weeks' time, and then see what happens there.
Yeah,
maybe because there's no other business dealings for a little while.
There is New Japan.
But yeah, I do think that's a great idea, Mekz. I think that's an amazing idea, and I think hopefully that we will get that. The Skan, what did you think of this main event? Did you enjoy it? It's a dream match, isn't it? It's a dream match, really and truly.
Yeah, it is, and I mean, I echo exactly what Mekz was saying, man. It was a solid match. It went, like I said, it went a bit too far with the juicing, but it's it is what it is, man. It sent the crowd home happy. Nice way to wrap up that like 4-hour Lord of the Rings epic of a pay-per-view match.
One thing I will say though, for the first Forbidden Door, there's only one dream match. That can't happen again. If they do another Forbidden Door, we need to see at least 3 or 4 strong dream matches that people want to see and look forward to seeing. And I feel like, that's what they need to focus on.
You know what? The problem with interpromotional pay-per-views in general is that no one wants their people to lose or look bad. So, like, I think it was this year, the 3rd night of Wrestle Kingdom, they done a cross-promotion thing with Noah. And every match was a tag match. What kind of nonsense is this?
I didn't even bother watching it when I saw that. When I saw everything,
I watched like 2 of the matches. Okada was in a tag match in the main event, him and Tanahashi. Like, bro, no one is signing up to see these guys in tag team action for a whole card. Like, let the tag teams do their thing, obviously. But yeah, like, I think we just need to do a bit more give and take and all of that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, they have opportunities to put each other over and stuff, and they don't take it.
All right.
What did you? A quick side note. What did you think of like Kevin Kelly on the commentary throughout the show?
You'll see.
I love Kevin Kelly.
Yeah,
he's been a voice in New Japan for American TV for a long time, and I felt even in WWE days he was underutilized. Like he became a laughingstock of The Rock, really. But he was always good. He was always good at his job, and it's man, like more Kevin Kelly, I say.
And that's the other thing I guess you could say they missed was they never had Red Shoes, the referee, there. He definitely should have been there. You're bringing Kevin Kelly, he's got to be there, man.
I agree. All right, guys, it's time to rank this pay-per-view. We're going to do it from 5. So I'll go with Mekz first. Mekz, what would you give Forbidden Door 2022 out of 5?
It's high. I might say about 4.25, 4.5.
I like that.
I was well impressed. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go with definitely a solid 4. Definitely room for improvement. I think it was lacking on the dream matches. You know, that's what we needed. Those dream like people were talking about Kenta versus Punk. You know, all of these possibilities.
Listen, man, that's what I want to see.
We kind of didn't get any.
Kenta Punk.
Kenta versus Punk is my dream match.
Go to sleep, man. Who's sending who to bed?
I want to see that because I know that build up will be so sick.
I genuinely think we're never seeing that. It's not gonna happen. I don't know why. I just have this feeling both men are gonna call it a day before we ever see that match.
You're probably right. I'm gonna say
it's gonna be an Undertaker Sting thing, man. It's just
I'm gonna give Forbidden Door 4 stars as well. Very strong pay-per-view. Thoroughly enjoyed it. No qualms, no complaints. Maybe my only critique is hopefully a bit more star power, a bit more dream matches on the card. But hey, we got more to come, I'm assuming. So that's good stuff. Yeah. So it's a good door to open for more to look forward to.
A question though. For a 4-hour pay-per-view, we got like 1 10-minute women's match. Yeah. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, we need more women, man. Like there's no Jade on the card, man.
Bro, like I said, the division doesn't merit it right now. Like, I hate to be that guy because women's wrestling is so good these days when done correctly and all of that kind of stuff. Like, women's wrestling is excellent. They've got the talent, but I don't know how they can book the men's division so well and they just can't book the women's division, or they don't care about booking the women's division. Like, so I mean, this match, they kind of just forced this match on the card to just have a presence of women, because this wasn't even AEW versus, I know New Japan don't have women, but New Japan have their link with Stardom. They could have brought, some female talents from Stardom, or at least the Japanese women that fight in AEW on a regular basis. Where were they? Like, it's
you know who should subject Jade randomly, because my brain is like this. You know who should stop Jade's reign? Sasha Banks, yo.
No chance.
Get Mercedes in that ring.
Listen, what the hell? You see what Mercedes is fighting for right now in WWE? You think she's coming to join this division?
Yeah.
This division is pants. It's poo.
Yeah, but if you get signings like her, they could elevate it.
Yeah. But on another note,
Tony Storm.
It depends who's booking, though. It depends who's booking for the women. Because I don't
think she would have to book it.
Actually booking the women.
Sasha Banks would have to book it.
But look at the caliber. Right, so they've got Tony Storm, they've got Ember Moon. Jade is she's not the greatest wrestler, but she's a good star.
Rising talent, yeah.
Thunder Rose is good. Britt Baker is good. I think that's where it stops. But
no one's saying these women aren't good. The issue is the booking ain't there. Like, it's non-existent. So you're saying Sasha Banks, with what she's beefing WWE over, it would make zero sense for you to come into a worse women's division.
Yeah, she can't say.
Yeah, like they would have to give her the pen and the book, and this is your job. You're an on-screen talent, and you're booking it. Like,
yeah.
Other than that,
But one question though, I don't know the answer to this, but why does New Japan not have a women's division?
Like, New Japan has done stuff with women in the past. They're never really devoted to like APW, All Japan Wrestling does. They have a strong women's division. Even like in the early 90s, like what TNA modeled their knockout division off was based on what All Japan did in the early 90s. With Manami Toyota and all these, and AJ Kong and all these people there was killing it. And they would integrate sometimes with New Japan. Sometimes New Japan would have like these highlight matches of women's wrestling, but they're never really devoted to a hardcore women wrestling base. And I can't tell you why. I don't. I have no idea.
So
Because maybe women should not wrestle. No, I'm joking. No, but I don't know. I really don't know.
So they're in cahoots with Stardom, New Japan.
Yeah.
I think they just use New Japan, Stardom as their women's division, but it's its whole own company.
That's their own company, yeah. I guess
Yeah.
that's probably what it is then. So they probably just don't want to do it integrate with New Japan.
But would that benefit AEW if they just had their women's division like completely separate from the company?
No, because it'll be the same man booking it. Like Tony Khan don't want to relinquish anything. Ultimately, that's how Cody left. He's already said that I want to book Ring of Honor when that comes back. Like Tony Khan wants to do everything. So I guess if he's booking it, no matter if it's his own company or own division, it's still going to be an issue. They need to bring someone in that knows what they're doing to really take hold of that. I think they said before Kenny Omega was helping to book it, but I wouldn't say when he was helping to book it, it was anything special back then either. So yeah, it needs work.
Well, I'm going to go back and make sure I watch that Fatal 4-Way match, and I'm going to catch up on Dynamite, the fallout after Forbidden Door. We'll have some more kick out coming up. We'll talk some more stuff. Mekz, thank you for joining us today, man. I really appreciate you coming back.
No problem.
Skan Dudes, thank you for joining us as well.
Yeah, one last thing.
Go ahead.
One last Forbidden Door, obviously, question, man. What was your thoughts on seeing Daniel Bryan on Monday Night Raw the following night?
I mean, it was Cena, 20 years of John Cena.
And Jericho and the Big Show. Yeah,
but I feel like if Tony Khan was to do, I'm not doing that. It'd be quite pathetic, to be honest. I think that'd be quite, I think like, didn't AJ Styles do something for TNA?
Yeah, he did Slammiversary the week before.
Not sure if WWE would do the same for AEW, but they probably will now. Now that Tony Khan's done that, WWE's like, all right, cool. If you want something, if you want me to send somebody your way, I don't know, we'll figure something, some sort of that's going to be, WWE's probably going to be very protective about sending their talent. But if AEW needed something, that WWE would be like, yeah, that's fine. Say for instance, AEW said, oh, we want to do a DVD on Samoa Joe. Can we use some NXT footage? WWE might be like, actually, yeah, you did us a solid with the whole Cena thing. Yeah, why not? Maybe.
Is that foreshadowing a potential WWE AEW crossover somewhere down the road?
I don't know how it would benefit WWE.
Yeah, I don't see it anytime soon. But because there's a lot of influence in the higher, i.e. Jericho and the Moxley. Maybe not Moxley so much. I don't see Moxley actually campaigning for WWE collaboration, but I can see Jericho definitely chipping away. Because obviously I feel Jericho would have been one of the main reasons why Jericho, Bryan, and Big Show was able to make these features on WWE TV. So I feel like...
So I mean, could we ever see like Jericho as an entrant in the Royal Rumble?
I think it's very possible.
Very possible. Very possible. And we could probably see somebody that Vince is going to fire in 2 weeks become an ace in a blackjack. Was it the Joker card? The Joker card in that casino. I mean, that's happened many times. I'm just being sarcastic. But
just on Moxley, like you're just saying on Moxley, yeah. Moxley, it was very instrumental in the whole New Japan deal coming about. More than even, obviously there was the guys, the Omegas and the Bucks and stuff like that. Because Moxley was back and forth and stuff like that, and kind of speaking to both parties in terms of scheduling and when he's going to be on TV and not. That deal, he was one of the catalysts for that deal actually happening. So yeah, maybe he is trying to transition in, getting his business hat on.
I hope he does. Guys, thank you for joining me today, man. We'll do some more kick out coming up soon. More special episodes and more content. Stay tuned. Stay locked.
All right. Peace.